Hey everybody, it's GoblinX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and we have quite the pack one pick one here with a fantastic Roaring Furnace and Steaming Sauna rare. That's probably what I'm going to take. Obviously you really want to be in blue-red for this, but if you are, you get a removal spell and a massive card draw engine attached. So one of the best reasons in the set to head towards the blue-red rooms archetype, which I do have a lot of fun with. But we also have incredible uncommons here. Stick Twister is real nasty when you get Delirium, and even when you don't, you can just trade this off early, gain a bit of life, slow down the game, and fill up your graveyard with 2 Delirium card types. So fits really well in any decks that care about that. The Specialist is great in Rakdos. The Survivor is solid for any green deck. Of course, there's the excellent Boros uncommon as well, the Midnight Mayhem. This is a loaded pack here. There's even good commons like Unable to Scream for removal, but I'm just going to go for the strongest card in raw power level and see if we can't get some blue-red room stuff going with the Furnace and Sauna here. And for pick number 2, this is definitely a pretty massive drop-off from last pack, but that's really because last pack was quite good. We could take the Centipede as one of the most flexible pickups here. For any green deck, it's going to fit in well and give us our fixing. We could take Duskmourn's Domination, which is pretty average removal. You are going to get a smaller version of whatever you're stealing onto your board, so it's like 6 mana to kill something and get a little bit of something on your board. But 6 mana is just a whole lot, so it's not that great. Survivor's fine if you're really aggressive, just getting a 1 mana 2/1, although it is pretty difficult to get the +3/+3 hexproof going. Possession's good in exactly Rakdos and basically nowhere else. I think I'm just taking Centipede here and being kind of disappointed about this pack. I don't think Domination is like good enough to just take over Centipede here. I like this card better as the more flexible card. Pick 3, well, pick 3 Arabella is a little bit of a sign towards Boros, although there are 4 uncommons here. There could have been like 2 rares, and people just took a rare and then took another rare. A little harder to read signals in the play booster error. We've got a Patchwork Beastie, if we want to go for Delirium stuff with our Centipede. This is at its best, I think, in green-red Delirium, but any deck that cares about filling the grave is going to be really happy with it. I was really impressed with this in our last Gruul deck. It was pretty consistently attacking on turn 3 or turn 4 when you've got the Delirium cards to work with it, so did play kind of like a 1 mana 3/3 quite a lot, so I might just be on the Beastie here. It's a little more flexible. It's going to go great in green-red or green-black, whereas obviously Arabella is only going to be in Boros. And now that I finally have a little bit of time to talk a tiny bit, I just wanted to mention no face cam today. I am just recording one video today, and I'm a little bit under the weather, so I'll set it all up and get the green screen out and everything tomorrow when I actually do a full, like, 3 or 4 draft recording session. So we're going back to basics today, back to the old ways of the channel, also known as like 2 weeks ago. It's not even that old. You should be used to no face cam. Pick 4, Paranormal Analyst towards blue-green Manifest Red. It's pretty solid. There's not too much else in the pack, so I don't hate that. Although the Moldering Gem's another pretty flexible card, just great green fixing. So the Moldering Gem in the Weight Room or the Paranormal Analyst. I'm cool to speculate on Analyst here. And one of the really nice things about ending up in green, if we are blue-green, is that it's pretty easy to splash, obviously with cards like Spineseeker, Centipede, and the Moldering Gem. So we could play blue-green and still run our Steaming Sauna, and just run the Roaring Furnace off of splashing in like 1 mountain to pull out with our cards that can grab basics. Pick 5? Well, shoot. Disappointed to have passed another Arabella and then get this one passed to me, because somebody's going to take that one. So we're not going to get Boros passed to us in pack 2, because someone on our left should be jumping in there. But pack 3 will be getting passed from the same people that passed us 2 Arabellas, so could end up in Boros here. We'd have to ditch all 4 of our cards we've drafted so far, unless we get a lot of blue fixing towards the Sauna. I don't love playing Roaring Furnace by itself because it's a dead draw in the late game if you're not playing blue. I think I'd rather just take Glassworks here. This is going to be phenomenal for blue-red rooms or for green-red Delirium. I do think we're going to be fighting over Boros next pack. Pick 6, well, there we go. Beastie Beatdown is a phenomenal removal spell for green-red Delirium. It's a pretty aggressive Delirium build, so having a removal spell that can also put some counters on the board is really nasty. Take the Beastie Beatdown, and I think we've got a direction we'd like to be. Also, pick 7 Analyst, too. Wow. I don't even know 100% where we're supposed to be here, because certainly we could have been in Boros with 2 Arabellas, but it looks like we can be blue-green with 2 Analysts, but we can also be green-red with this late beatdown, a Beastie Centipede Glassworks here. Kind of wild. I'm not going to be super excited about Moldering Gem in green-red. It's a little bit slower. It's better in the more splashy decks. But I will be very excited about Analyst and blue-green, so I'm going to speculate on that here, even if I like the green-red path a little bit more right now. Pick 8. Wary Watchdog is great in the Delirium aggro deck, just a 3-power creature for only 2 mana. The 1 toughness is definitely a downside sometimes. There are 1/1 tokens in the format, but the enter the battlefield and death trigger really helps you speedrun into your Delirium to get your beasties attacking, get your centipedes to 3/3 stats, and so forth. Pick 9, well there you go, Rootwise Survivor. Solid top-end haster for this deck. The haste to go with the survival ability is what makes this actually pretty good. It's way more difficult for your opponent to stop this from getting its first survival trigger, and as long as it gets at least 1 survival trigger in, this is super worth the mana cost. 5 mana for a 3/4 and a 3/3. So we'll grab the Survivor there. Although the Clockwork Percussionist is a card that overperforms quite a bit, because when it dies, it replaces itself. It lets you draw a card. But not only that, because it's an artifact creature for only 1 mana that's going to end up dying a lot, it's pretty good at fueling your Delirium, getting an artifact and a creature in your grave very early. Most Valuable Slayer is nice for getting some damage in. Keys to the House is fine to get an artifact in grave for Delirium while fixing us. We do still want to be splashing blue, or if we end up green-blue, splashing the red, although certainly looks more like green-red at the core right now. And we're not going to main deck an Anthropede, although that is a solid card for best of 3. So for pack 2, pick 1 now. We've got Balustrade Worm. That is what I'm going to take here in green-red Delirium. A trampling, hasting threat that can't be countered, and then you get to recast it again from your grave later. Super, super nasty. 2 big, spooky, hasty threats out of 1 card. The Head Shredder is also a pretty good card, but here in green-red, the Worm is going to play better, just get more damage in early. Head Shredder would be better, definitely in like green-white, where you have a bunch of survival cards. Being able to trigger all of those without having to attack with them is great, so that makes vehicles go very far up in value. And Head Shredder is also potentially better in like the green-black decks that really, really, really want to fill up their graveyard in sorry, I think I said green-black. But yeah, the green-black decks that really want to fill up their graveyard. Green-red, you just want to hit Delirium and then you're good. You're not really actually picking anything up from the graveyard or anything. But green-black has a lot of potential graveyard recursion. Cards that are like return any permanent from your grave to your hand, or any creature or land from your grave to your hand with say its name, stuff like that. So pick 2... It's definitely not right to take Optimistic Scavenger, but I am incredibly high on that card. I think it's ridiculously good. Probably the best card in the pack, but Turn Inside Out is a great combat trick. You get to make sure that your 2/1 attacking in is now going to kill their 5 toughness card, and you're going to Manifest Dread to fill the graveyard a little bit, keep some stats on the board. Say Its Name's also decent, pretty good at filling the grave for Delirium. A little better in slower decks. Again, a little more green-black oriented than green-red, but certainly fine here too. I think I'm just going to go for the Turn Inside Out, though. The excellent combat trick. Pick 3. We certainly need a critical mass of 2 drops here so that we can get aggressive. This is an archetype that really wants to do that. So I'm going to grab the 2 mana 2/2 here. It's certainly a bit filler, a bit weaker than just taking a Beastie or a Turn Inside Out, but we have way less room for 5-drop creatures. I think both of these 5 drops are pretty good, so we don't really need a third. And then We just really need 2-drops here. Turn Upside Out is good, but it's certainly less necessary for the deck. Pick 4. There is a Sawblade Skin Ripper, and nothing out of green here. There's also Gremlin Tamer. Dang, so blue-white was open. That is sad. We could have had Optimistic Scavenger into Gremlin Tamer out of this pack. Wow. Thought we were setting people up for Boros here, but it looks like the players on our left are in Gruul. We get past the good Gruul in pack 1, but then nothing pack 2, so I guess we're going to have to wait till pack 3 to get the good stuff, but Conductive Machete is not bad at all. 4 mana for a 4/3 that leaves behind this equipment. And obviously if you end up manifesting something better than a 2/2 so you can flip it up later, then it can play even better than that. Pick 6. Yeah, this pack is just a whole miss here, isn't it? Really getting cut here. Pack 2. There's tons of baseball bats. Nobody's in green-white specifically. I only got 1 survival card. I feel I'm too deep into red to pivot to that, but I also don't think Boiler Builder's Ripper is actually good in green-red, so I'll speculate on a baseball bat. Late, unable to scream. Let's just rare draft for Vault Progress, though. I suppose like we do have some blue cards on the side if we wanted to take the unable to scream just in case we try to go green-blue here. I do not think I'll be doing that. Preferably we're cutting lands 1 for 1 for these. Wow. We opened a baseball bat in like every single pack in pack 2. Magic the Gathering in 2024. We're playing baseball bats and flashlights. Keys. I guess keys could be in a fantasy setting as well. Baseball bat is certainly where it starts getting a little funky. All right, pack 3. You better be a lot more like pack 1 than pack 2. But you should be, because we're getting passed from the same players that passed us during pack 1. So this pack should go a lot better for us, but let's see. So Fear of Burning Alive is an excellent curve topper. Shoot your opponent for 4 and one of their creatures for 4 if you have Delirium, and we're certainly working to Delirium. I'm going to take the Fear of Burning Alive. I think it's strong enough to take it, even though it's quite high up there on the curve. It's going to be like our only 6-drop. I like Manifest Dread a lot at fueling Delirium. It puts a sorcery into your graveyard and then likely a land as well. So those are 2 really good card types to end up in your grave, because then if an artifact creature dies or an enchantment creature dies, you're there. You're at full Delirium. Pack 3, pick 2. No removal here. We just go for another Centipede. Pretty solid in green-red. And actually, then we have double Centipede and double Keys to the house, so we can run the Roaring Furnace. We can play like 2 islands in this deck. I guess the problem with that is if we randomly manifest an island, we'll never play the Sauna, but this is actually a lot of fixing with 2 keys and 2 centipedes now. So it's definitely worth consideration at least. I'm going to take the Centipede over mainly just hand that feeds, just because we would want more aggressive 2-mana creatures. Pick 3. I'm also a bit low on removal. I'm going to take a removal spell here over the Percussionist. Let's grab the Betrayer's Bargain. It's a little more flexible than the Monstrous Emergence. When in our deck, the maximum amount of damage that Monstrous Emergence is going to do is 5 anyway. And that's when we have exactly Balustrade Worm on board or in hand. So at best, Monstrous Emergence does as much damage as the Bargain. The Bargain costs a little bit more, but it's always going to guarantee that we're doing the full 5 damage, and we're going to exile cards to stop any graveyard nonsense from our opponent. Yeah, so green was open from the right. Green was definitely open from this direction. I will take one of the best rares in the whole set, and we'll definitely play it. Pick 5 now. There's a Say Its Name to fill that graveyard. I suppose there's a 2-drop creature with hand that feeds. Oh man, pick 6 Bookworm too. Jeez. Do we splash that in? I don't think so. I'm going to take the hand that feeds. Pick 7. Now a Flesh Burrower. Do I need the emergence at this point? I have Glassworks, Furnace, Beatdown. I have at least 3 removal spells. Fear of Burning Alive is a really late removal spell, but it is also removal, so like 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually 5 if you count Betrayer's Bargain as well, which definitely counts. Yeah, let's get the curve and get the Flesh Burrower. Altanek. Yeah, 7 drops a bit much. I'm going to grab another 3-drop creature with 2 card types for Delirium. Join the party, Grasping Longneck. Pick 9. Manifest Dread came all the way back around. I'm actually very, very happy with that. Ticket Booth is not horrific in this archetype, but it's not particularly good. Looks like it would be the cut here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 creatures, basically. Yeah, we would just cut that. Pick 11. Another Monstrous Emergence. Or a Moldering Gem. Moldering Gem also helps get to the sauna. You know what? I'm going to take the Moldering Gem. Make sure this sauna gets really consistent. Razorkin. It just gets cut. And a lakeside shack towards the sauna? Alright. So we could have like a shack and 2 islands. That way if I mill one of my blue sources, it's fine. So yeah, the creature count here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 14 with this is another 6-drop. 15 with the machete. 16 with Manifest Dread. And 17 with the Onslaught. Pretty perfect. I'm on 17 lands right now, and I can cut them 1 for 1 for the keys to the house. So anytime I draw keys, I play it and crack it. The problem with cutting lands 1 for 1 for keys to the house is this does cost some of your mana. So if I have, let's say I have a 2-lander that I wanted to be a 3-lander, it's 2 lands and a keys to the house. This could mess up my mana curve, because now, instead of like playing a 2-mana creature turn 2, I have to play and crack the keys. But I think that's fine here. Maybe we could cut 1 land for 2 keys. It'd be fine too. But then I have to choose something else to cut, and I am indecisive. So let's just cut 1 mountain, 1 forest here, right? 15 green cards, 8 red. Oh. Got 7 green sources and 6 red sources. Any double red cards in the deck? Yeah, Fear of Burning Alive is double red. Should go 8-5, because the centipedes get the red sources. A lot of the red cards are non-creature spells, so we don't need to play those till later. Yeah, I think the only thing that's awkward about having only 5 red sources is like the 1 red 2-drop that we obviously really want to just curve out with our 2-drops. It's harder to do that with only 5 mountains, but yeah, looks fine to me. We will call it a deck here, hop into the gameplay, and see how it does. Alright, here we are on the play for game 1. We've got all of our colors, and we got the Beastie to start trying to fuel Delirium, and if we can get there, the Centipede gets bigger as well. Got a full curve out, 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop on the play with the removal spell to clear a path. Looks like a pretty solid start. Does depend on whether or not this Beastie manages to get attacking, though. If it doesn't get to attack till like turn 5 or 6, then it's not going to be that aggressive of a start. And with the Beastie being our only Delirium fuel right now, it's a little unlikely for the Beastie to get in until at least turn 4. But probably even later, unfortunately. Ragged Playmate, hello there. Yep, if we hit 2 lands in a row, that pretty much locks in. The beastie's going to take forever to attack. Don't mind this trade here against Boros. Save the Glassworks for something spookier. Do I have any double green in the deck? I've got Balustrade Worm and Survivor, so I have 2 solid double green cards. And only 1 double red. The only double red card is Fear of Burning Alive. Let's get another green. And I could get another red so I could play these both in the same turn, I guess. But if I top deck like a Worm or a Survivor and I can't play it, that is going to be rough. Okay. Really don't care about trading a Centipede into a Cheerleader here. So we're holding on to the Glassworks. Sure. Take 4, now their Cheerleader's a 2/2 flyer, but I can kill the 2/4 flyer. Alright, there's an artifact. 1 card type from Delirium. If we had it, this turn would be so huge. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage on that attack with Delirium. So we just need an instant sorcery or enchantment. The odds are decent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 cards that could hit Delirium. Almost half of the deck. That's almost 12 cards. So we're on like coin flipping into Delirium here on our next mill. If we just flip a heads. Oh, never mind. The beastie has been betrayed. Well, that is actually right on time, weight room. Get Delirium off this then. Oh, that's a bummer. Oh, those were probably our 2 best draws in the deck. I guess I couldn't cast Fear of Burning Alive, but man, losing the Onslaught here? Yikes. And they're not on blue, so they're not going to bounce it or anything. Alright, well I don't have a sorcery in grave yet, right? Yeah, so I can just put the Onslaught in grave, so if I do hit a red source, this gets a little bigger, and I have Delirium. That's depressing, though. Well, we did the thing, we hit Delirium, our opponent is taking a lot of damage, we're in an excellent spot. It is just sad to lose our biggest bomb. Percussionist from our opponent. Their deck is not looking how I expected here. A lot of black sources showing up, but we haven't seen what that's for yet. Still only seen Boros cards. I suppose the gym can get us the red source we need to flip up our face down. Turn it into a 7/7 instead of a 5/5. Let's play a game. Just make me discard a forest. Nice. MLG card. Okay. I don't have the mana to unlock the Yard and the Moldering Gym. They only have 3 power over there. They have to double block to trade into Centipede or Hand that feeds. This feels like an all attack. Unlock the Yard, probably. And I guess the other benefit of unlocking the Moldering Gym is I am getting another land out of the deck. There's only 5 left already. But unlocking the gym is almost like unlocking the yard, because it's going to let me flip this up and hit for 2 more points of damage when I flip that up. Whereas the yard is going to hit for 2 more points of damage over the next 2 end steps. I could stack my damage so I don't kill Percussionist, but I think it's still better to just get them out of the way. Alright, that combat trick is awful here. Okay, they're at 2 life. I'm just going to unlock the Shattered Yard. If they're just going to be at 2 after that combat. Now they have to get enough blockers to stop all of my creatures, and they need to blow up the Shattered Yard to survive. Alright, solid start for us. Our opponent just had kind of an awkward start there. They didn't have a great curve or anything. I mean, they had, you know, a couple early creatures. We just traded them off 1 for 1 real quick. But they did run out of steam there for sure, hitting just some more small creatures in the late game. And we get to start things off 1-0 heading into game 2. Well, here we are for game 2, being the biggest and balmiest player at the table. Probably. We'll see. Worm into Onslaught. You try to Onslaught at, what, 7 mana? For the maximum win condition? You can Onslaught for 5 and it's still very good. 2 4/4s for 5 mana is ridiculous. But because we have a Worm to play at 5 mana anyway... Oh, well, these would have both helped, but here's what it is. We've got an enchantment creature enhanced. It's actually harder to get the artifact engraved right now, so I'll put that there for Delirium. But yeah, like I've got the Worm to play at 5 mana, so we'll wait to Onslaught on 7 instead, since we know what we'll be doing on 5. Okay, Centipede, get a red source. Offer the trade if it happens. That is the 3rd card type for Delirium. I just tried to play a 2nd land this turn. Probably Long Neck and Keys over Most Valuable Slayer. If I hit a 2-drop, that'd be perfect, because then I can actually crack the keys and guarantee a Worm next turn. Not a 2-drop, but certainly a good card. Might be better than playing the Long Neck here. I think we have to kill Most Valuable Slayer over the Needlehead, but the Needlehead is definitely a problem as well. Yeah, if I miss my land drop next turn, it's going to be no Worm yet, but it is what it is. Definitely attacking in, because that's going to have first strike on attacks anyway, so any combat trick in the book is going to eat both our creatures super freely. Piggy bank. It's a 3/2 that dies into a treasure. That would give them Delirium if it dies. Beat down my face down. Nice, I'm closer to Delirium. I didn't put a stop here. Did they put a stop here for my keys? That's cute, but if I tap for the keys, I don't have the 5 for the Worm. Oh, it's for the Needlehead, that's why. Alright, well, we got a keys to the green source anyway. Two 4 is the safest blocker, the sturdiest blocker. If they have their own Glassworks, this will be pretty sad. Got enchantment, artifact, sorcery engrave. There's no instance here. No lands to put engrave. Yeah, there's no way to get Delirium for the Centipede. That is awkward. think I am holding the Centipede back now, though, because we were definitely winning the long game with these two. So just having the Centipede to trade in the piggy bank is solid here, because I'm pretty sure Slayer's going to die. Ooh, it didn't die, but that's a 7/6 trample over there. Okay. 1 mana away from the 7 mana Onslaught. Oops, I win. So that's the goal. How do we get there? How do we survive this 7/6 trample and make it there? Play a Death Toucher and a Life Gainer? That actually feels safer than a 5/5. Like, I guess we can play the Worm and then block the Branch Snapper with the Worm and the Slayer. That's a path we could take. How do I die here? I get trampled for 5. Puts me to 6. Needlehead is pinging away. Yeah, I probably should have played the Worm and just went for a big double block here. Yeah, I still do. Just take less damage and then gain life off of the long neck. I suppose if they don't have a combat trick here, I could put the Flesh Burrower there as well, and they still only kill 2 of the 3. If they do have a combat trick here, we could end up getting all 3 of these killed for nothing, if it's the first strike trick. Oh, it's the Betrayer's Bargain? So if I did put the Flesh Burrower there, we would have still killed the Branch Snapper. Yeah, it's awkward. Beastie Beatdown. I get 2 counters first, right? Then the creature deals damage equal to its power. Okay, so I can just Death Touch the Branch Snapper and have a 4/4 blocker now. I hate being at 7, though. Man. Gotta be the play, though, right? We can't afford to take any more trample. Okay. I have 7 turns to kill them. I guess 6. Yikes. Flood out, flood out. No more gas, please. Ooh, is there okay, no, the last card's a land. Oh, but that activates the Shattered Yard off the treasure. Jesus. Yeah, we probably just died of ping. Can't hit land 7. Man. That's disappointing. Yeah, I think we needed to go for just the Uber block on the Trampler there. I should have played the Worm and just tried to soak up every single point of damage on a double block. Although I guess if I did that, if I didn't find the clever triple or quad block or anything like that. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's got first strike. Well, this game was already over. If I... Oh, what is going on? Lands. I need 1 more land to sack this and kill the Needlehead. I can't. Can't play a creature and kill that. I've been sidetracked so much by the current game of Magic. Okay. We could still win because this card's completely busted. However, what I was trying to say that whole time is that even if I went for the better block, because they had the 5 damage removal, I would have still been blown out unless I played around it, unless I did a smart thing there. And I was not in the habit of doing smart things this game. Okay, I guess we win. Wow, Valvagoth's Onslaught is stupid. Wow. Go from 0 power on board to 15. Oops, I'll hit you for 15 before I die to the Shattered Yard. My god. Yeah, this card is completely dumb. We did need the haste threat to go alongside it as well to find immediate lethal, but even if we didn't have the haste threat, they were forced into a chomp going to 4 life. I get hit for 1 more damage unless they top deck another haster, we still win. And if the worm was just any other creature in our deck, we could have just done that and then played the other creature as a chump blocker, and then even if they top deck a haster, we win. Yeah, Onslaught's completely stupid. I definitely played worse than our opponent this game, but we just had egregiously powerful cards. Yeah, so I think the big thing to learn there is when you have something as insanely powerful as a Valvagos Onslaught, you can go for some just really, really massive, really disadvantageous blocks just to soak up damage, where it's like, sure, I'm going to block with literally my entire board, and if they have like a first strike trick here, I'm going to lose my whole board, but then we're going to get to Onslaught at a higher life total. And it would have played around the Betrayer's Bargain better. Yeah, we were unlikely to lose our whole board on like blocking with everybody, but certainly sending 2 or 3 creatures into killing just one of theirs, but it was worth it. When Onslaught comes out, just spits out 3 even bigger creatures later. Should have played it safer. Still get there in the end because that card is so broken, and we are now 2-0 heading into game 3. All right, here we are on the play for game 3, and this is obviously one of the great things about having some green sources. We've got cards like Centipede to get to our red cards. Oh, draw the 1-drop turn 2. Awkward. You know, I'm still just running out. I don't think so. Just get the graveyard starting to fill up. There could be an argument for that. I do like being able to attack and block, though, when our opponent gets on the board this early. Okay. Definitely need the red source to Furnace. Next turn I can like Furnace and Beastie, and that's where we're going to get it out. Certainly playing the defensive here, it looks like. For now, if we get to the Steaming Sauna, that's going to win us the long game. So for now, let's just preserve our life total, make some trades. They are Rakdos, which can be a really aggressive deck. It can also be a pretty good grindy deck, so it really depends. Alright, while they're tapped out from saving the Egotist, this is like the one time I know I can kill it, so let's Furnace it. Because you can spend 2, sack anything, and save it later. And it's going to keep draining us life whenever they're sacking their cards for any reason. Not even necessarily for its own ability. So it plays really nice with, you know, Terramorphic Expanse, Keys to the City, all that stuff. That's not even what it's called. I don't remember what the keys are in this set. Key to the City was the artifact from Kaladesh that gave unblockable or something weird. Well, this is going to be some kind of trick, but show me what you got. Nope. I will take 1 damage. And they're just going to exile the Beastie, sure. Fair enough, this is all fine by me. Now we win the race, for now. Actually start getting damage in. I mean, we're taking 1 a turn. Nope, maybe not getting damage in. Maybe another removal spell. Nowhere to run, sure. That's super fine. Just on our 2/2. Really important extra text on this that's super easy to forget. If you have the 1 hexproof trick in the format in your deck, you're just doomed. When this thing hits the board, your hexproof trick doesn't matter at all. It's a lot easier to remember the extra text on this card when it's a card you're running in your deck. We're just going to lose to this, but that's fair enough. We just got free wins off Valvagoth, so time for our opponent to get a free win off of Unholy Annex, Ritual Chamber, basically Black's version of Valvagoth's Onslaught, where it's like, oops, I win. GG. Yeah, we're straight up gone. 6/6 flyer, they draw an extra card each turn, and while they draw the extra cards, they drain us for life. Super ridiculous stuff. But again, thus is the way of life. Some games, you Valgavoth's Onslaught your opponent. Some games, you get Valgavoth's Onslaughted. There is nothing to be done about it. Draw an extra card, drain us for 2 life, top deck a land. And maybe you had to chump there just so that they can't just pass next turn to kill me. But yeah, these draws are just game regardless. Now they don't have to declare the attack, they can just pass, but it's still not getting anywhere. Alright, well, 2-1 it is, heading into game 4. Alright, here we are on the play for game something. We're 2-1 right now, so it must be game 4. Beastie, stop showing up turn 2. You gotta stop that. We're supposed to play you turn 1. Fear of surveillance. Spooky. Definitely gonna turn inside out if they block here, just to fill the grave with good card types. Probably even take the trade here for Delirium as well, because we can really get there. We'd have Enchantment and Creature in grave already, and we have a bunch of Manifest. Oh. Ethereal Armor out of blue-white is absolutely deadly, but on a Vigilant threat? Ooh. We're going to have a horrendous time doing anything about that. Now we can't attack in and we can't block. We just can't do anything. Yeah, and we're the worst color pair in the format for dealing with a high toughness creature, because all our removal is damage based, if I could find any of it. Yep. Turn 3, 4/4 first strike vigilance might just already be too much for us. We'll see how we draw here. I have maybe 1 turn to find my 5 damage removal spell. Otherwise, this is going to end up being a 6/6 or better, and there will be absolutely nothing to be done about it. Oh, thanks for milling the removal I needed, Beastie. Very cool. Again, that was technically exactly as likely to mill something else right above our removal spell and get us closer to it. Milling has no quantifiable net effect on the odds of you drawing like a removal spell, because it's just as likely to mill a non-removal spell and then you top deck removal because you milled the non-removal and now you're closer to it than it is to mill the removal spell itself. I guess technically with like 4 removal spells in the deck, it's more likely to mill the non-removal. Yeah, let's get to it. But unless there's like one exact card in your deck you need, you should always just do the mill to get your Delirium up. Unless it's like, oh, if I mill my Valgavoth's Onslaught, I have literally no hope, then okay, stop milling. Well, there's that removal. They've got 1 mana up here. They need the 1 mana +2/+2. That is a common, or they need the uncommon +1/+1 hexproof. Gotta go for it. While they're mostly tapped out. Oh my god, they've got it. That's as tapped out as they were gonna get. Yep. Well, it's gonna be 4 for 4 and not really a game of Magic. Heading into round number 5. Alright, here we are for game 5. I need to top deck any land in the whole deck, but if I do, I am golden, and there it is. We are on the draw here, so if our opponent's got an aggressive start at all, it's going to be an extra painful one. They do start with a cultist, but trading a centipede into that is pretty solid value. Alright, no 4-drop. Like that. Okay. Just playing full defensive here. This is interesting. Alright, centipede for cultist. That is fine. We're going to be very sad if we draw this on him, but it is what it is. I gotta make sure I can hit this Fear of Burning Alive. We can get a sorcery and an instant in the grave for sure. Oh wow, 5 mana for a 4/1. That is a desperation move right there. Yeah, so I can get a sorcery and an instant here. It looks like I'm not going to Fear of Burning Alive until turn 7, at least at this point. Because the only way to get a sorcery and an instant in the grave here is to like Beastie beat down the cultist and then bargain their other card. And the only way to hit Delirium is to cast Turn Inside Out, so I think I'm just sending in and casting Turn Inside Out. So that we can get, obviously we need instant sorcery and like a land or something, and we can use the Turn Inside Out to get the land or something here. Man. Well, artifact works. Wow, that's twice now. How many times have I manifested? I feel like that's 2/3 of the times I've manifested. I think I've only manifested like 3 times. And we milled Onslaught twice. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But yeah, now all we have to do is cast a beat down or have this die. And Fear of Burning Alive is ready. Well, this is weird. What is going on in my opponent's hand? Do they just have the Valgavoth? They don't have the way to discard it to reanimate it, but they have the actual just like 8-drop auto win. That would be really bad because you have to sack 3 non-land permanents to target it, and I can't do that. Yeah, if their hand is legitimately just gonna hardcast a Valgavoth at a couple turns, it is gonna kill me. I guess I can play Fear of Burning Alive here just to keep the pressure on. And have lethal on board next turn. I guess not on board, I have to play a beat down to have lethal. Okay, they have to emerge a cultist again. And Final Vengeance, okay. Keys to the house. There's already an artifact in grave. I can get my second blue source though, that's cute. So they missed land 8. Oh, I should have kept that in case it is Valgavoth. Oh no. Did I punt because they have the exact mythic I'm thinking of? Okay, nope. They don't have it yet, at least. Yeah, I just realized you can sack. It doesn't have to be creatures, it's just any non-land permanent for Valgavoth's ward. So if they have that gigantic demon, then just having that would be great. But hey, look, it was actually the right play. It didn't punt at all. I knew I was going to top deck my double blue card. Whitelisted streamer. Should probably have played a land there, but there is that one let's play a game thing that makes you discard two. Or five. Okay, they have 8 mana now, and they still didn't play like a Valgavoth, so they just have like the worst hand ever. Just like very sad to be the black-white reanimator player right now. And if they board wipe us, we're still drawing 2 cards a turn, so I'm just gonna spread them out. There's the Ride of the Moth. Yeah, they've really got the reanimation spells, but they just can't find their good targets. That is one of the big flaws of that archetype. It's a very fun one. I've played it a few times, but I've had the exact same issue where like your hands can definitely be finicky. The draft itself can be finicky as well, where you have to have critical mass of reanimation spells, reanimation targets, and ways to get those reanimation targets in grave. And they don't always come together throughout the draft, and sometimes they just don't always come together through the draws, where it's like, all right, I have all my cheap cards that are supposed to help me survive to where I reanimate the big stuff, but I haven't drawn any of the big stuff, so now I'm just emerging a 4-1 3 times in a row. So, sad game for our opponent, but we are 3-2 now, heading into game 6. All right, here we are on the play for game 6, and there's Beastie in the opening hand. Let's go. Turn 1, Beastie. We need to draw any land in the deck, but if we do, Moldering Gem gets us our red source, and we are golden from there. Goodbye, Wary Watchdog. Possessed Goat. I would assume black-white for my opponent, but maybe they just like goats, and they're just playing it in whatever they are. Green-white. Green-white goats, the deck. No, the red source. Well, there's the land I need. Unfortunately, it is the tap land from the deck, which is sad to see. Probably just playing defense here against green-white. For now, I would really rather that cheerleader not jump into the sky. So if we can force them to spend removal on our flesh burrower or tap it or something. Alright, they have to spend pretty good removal on our 2-drop to get the cheerleader in now. And then I can still technically like block and trade into it, but it's not the best. This is another card type. If I'm Moldering Gem, I have 5 mana next turn. That is at worst going to let me play Long Neck and Bargain in the same turn. Yeah, I'm going to Moldering Gem. Take a bit of a beating for it, but another 3 damage isn't that bad. Ooh. This card, usually not the greatest because it's hard to get it in, but here could actually do something, so I probably have to bargain it. Dang, I could play a 5/5, but that's going to play really bad against removal. Even the friendly ghost just buffing the Spawn Hunter is going to be quite bad for me. So, I think I have to hand that feeds and bargain. Because I don't want to sack anything to the bargain, so I have to spend the full 4. Be at Delirium after that, which is pretty cool. Is it a bad idea to hold on to the bargain. Probably. I probably need to do this while they're tapped out, because green-white, because you have all the cards with survival mechanic, tends to run a bunch of combat tricks. So if they end up not playing the friendly ghost and just going straight to combat, and then I try to do something fancy, like block there and bargain there, they could have just a blowout combat trick. Because they're definitely playing at least some in their archetype. And I guess this way I get a few points of damage in. Lionheart Glimmer. That is an excellent card. I guess now I don't have to feel so embarrassed about trading Long Neck into the Cheerleader. So that's something. Kind of have to play Long Neck here. Just play a 5/5 on the ground. Taking another 3 in the sky minimum. They play Casper and I'm taking 5, going to 4 life. Then I'm at 4 life facing 6 flying power. Yeah, I can't not trade into Cheerleader like right now. So trading a Cheerleader. This doesn't block anything well. I guess I have to attack with a hand. Trading to the Cheerleader, Beastie goes on the Goat. We take the 3 from the Glimmer. I should have played this. I forgore. Gross. Fear of Mobility is fantastic here. Surprised by their choice of tap. But I am pretty dead nonetheless. Yep. So I can flip that up and have a 6/6 Vigilance. That is something. 5 damage, 3 damage, 2 damage. They can make that 4 damage. Block there, take 3 plus 4. Yeah, I can't attack here, I'm dead to just them playing the friendly ghost. If any 2 creatures get in, I'm dead on board. Alright, we're dead. They just discard a card to the Goat, send it, and that's lethal. They're gonna let me barely live. Unless they have a combat trick. Oh wait, is Goat instant speed? Goat's instant speed. I don't like reading cards, though. Alright, 3 and 3. 50-50 record here. That's perfectly fine. I don't think it was a phenomenal draft or anything, and we had some unwinnable games with those first 2. That third one felt like a pretty close matchup. Not really a close game, but like if it was best of 3, I think we had a decent matchup there. We were just a little too slow on the draw for that one. But our first 2 losses, I mean, she got slammed by the best black rare in the format with the Demon Attic thingy. Get a 6/6 flyer and drain your opponent for 2 and draw a card every turn. Really gross stuff there. And then our second loss, just getting the early 4/4 first strike Vigilance just completely takes over the board if we didn't immediately have our Glassworks or our Furnace or something, and we did not immediately have one of those, so by the time we hit the removal, they had the extra mana up to just +2/+2 it and take over that game, so that one was pretty unwinnable. Yep, those two were not super interactive and not super winnable, and that was true for our wins as well. We kind of just cast some of Algavoth's Onslaughts for 2 of our wins, and the other one was... Wait, no, I guess only one of our wins was the Onslaught, actually. Right, the one where we made 3 5/5s. That was just like a whole game of Magic where it was just like, boop, I'll just win off 1 card. Our other 2 wins, though, was like black-white just not doing anything because they didn't hit their reanimation targets. And then some red-white-black, some Mardu deck that also kind of just didn't do anything. Played a 2-drop and a 3-drop and then kept hitting like 2-mana creatures when we had some beef on board. So, yeah, not the most exciting draft here, not the most exciting gameplay. Just a very average run. Anything that I wish we did differently here, draft-wise or gameplay-wise? I think the biggest gameplay errors were in the game that we won anyway, because we just onslaughted. I'm sure there was a little more, though. I don't hate this deck. It could certainly be better. Like, the long necks are quite filler. They're really just in here for being 2 Delirium card types. The perfect kind of builds of green-red involve like a few more copies of Manifest Dreads over these Flesh Burrowers, because they're so good at fueling Delirium. Maybe like 1 more Centipede or something over a long neck here. I don't think there's anything awful in here. It's just a little bit more filler than you would want, and a little bit slower with a little bit of the splashy sauna stuff, but I think that was worth it. That part played out pretty fine. So yeah, average run for a nice little average deck here. We will take it. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.